Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
All right, we get started on 24-hour temperature cast. Going to have a bunch of numbers that still start with a 6 this morning. Some will dip into the 50s. I think we're all going to climb into the lower, maybe mid-80s this afternoon. We should feature a little bit more sunshine for more of the day today, and that'll allow those temperatures to get a little bit warmer than they did yesterday. Probably something similar overnight tonight to what we had last night, and that means more numbers maybe in the low 60s or upper 50s. Not quite to where it should be at this point during the year, but not uncomfortable. Just we'll call it a little bit more mild than we'd expect at the end of October. There's not much going on satellite radar composite screen. Maybe a couple of thin clouds still lingering about. We're down to 61 in Thomasville. We're at 64 for Tallahassee and for Valdosta. This morning, those dew point numbers are getting closer to 60. Tells me the air could cool just another couple of degrees. So things are taking little baby steps in that more fall-like direction. We see some 50s to the north and west, but we see that 70 at Apalachicola. So still have that variety and still have pretty warm regional numbers compared to where it should be at this point during the year, when we should be back down near 50, not up near 60. Mariana and Bainbridge and Quincy and Camilla and Tifton are all at 59 this morning, and Blakely's the coolest spot at 57. I think today the breeze turns a little bit more east, and that'll try to bring in some of that Atlantic moisture. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw an isolated sprinkle or three over towards the I-75 corridor. Most of us aren't going to see any rain. Most of us aren't going to see a lot of clouds, but I think the chance for at least an isolated sprinkle is there well to the east. This morning we may find a little bit of patchy fog. I think the next couple of mornings we can find some more patchy fog too. Right now most visibility numbers are better than 7 miles, and it's really still about the influence of this big ridge of high pressure that'll continue to be our big weather player for several more days. Now, as it does scoot a little bit more east, we'll notice a few little subtle changes. The wind direction comes in from the east. That breeze will start to perk up a little bit, and maybe if we can establish enough moisture in place, if this boundary ever gets here, and that's still kind of questionable, maybe it can trigger some showers by the weekend. I think it's going to fizzle out before it does. We'll watch, we'll see, we'll update the forecast between now and then. Now, the tropics still remain real quiet. I don't see a lot of organized anything. I see a pocket of showers down across the South Atlantic. We're watching the same, maybe a little area of disturbed weather not too far from the Yucatan, but nothing that looks like it's really going to turn into anything right away. The 7-day outlook still puts that 40% chance out there in the Caribbean. We'll watch, we'll see. There's nothing to be concerned with just yet, and if anything does start to develop, we'll let you know all about it. On the Gulf today, we're going to get going with the breezy conditions at times out of the northeast and east, up to like 16 or 18 knots, seas 1 to 3 feet. This morning it's 50s and 60s. We'll call it partly cloudy and mild. Sunrise time 7:50. Now remember, this coming Sunday is when we turn those clocks back, so we'll see the sun come up before 7 on Sunday morning. This afternoon, I think we got a pretty good chance to get to like 83, 84, 85. That's about it. We'll call it partly cloudy. I suspect we're going to see some of those clouds build in from the east, some of those puffy white ones. And then tonight, more of the partly cloudy, some more patchy fog, low 60s and upper 50s for overnight temperatures. I don't expect a lot of change over the next few days. I think as we get towards Halloween, it's still going to be a lot of mid-80s for highs and a lot of numbers near 60 to get started. We'll head into the upcoming weekend, and maybe we can start to slowly ratchet down the temperatures a little bit. But we're at that point in October, or Friday is going to begin November. Like 78 or 79 would be a normal daytime high. We're going to beat that by at least 5 degrees, I think, pretty much every day all week.